Welcome back to another episode of Mood AF, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nikita. Welcome if you are new here. Here at Mood AF, we throw all tea, all shade, and all offense, contingent upon whatever mood I am in that day. And I'm gonna kind of run the show a little differently from here on out. I know I told you that last episode, but we're gonna handle old business, then we're gonna get into a little new business, and then we're obviously gonna get into all tea, all shade, and all offense about what we're speaking about today. So a little old business. First things first, I kind of want to touch on the last episode. You guys were super chill and like super supportive about it, and it made me feel really good. Especially all of the Black women that listened to it. Yes, because that is the intended audience, obviously. I know this is like my first episode back with new hair. um yeah, I kind of get bored and change my hair up very often just because we're kind of in a pandemic and I kind of have lost my mind about like maybe like 5 or 6 times now. Actually, I'm fucking with you. Shout outs to my girl Alicia at The Hair Artiste. If you are looking for somebody that does curly cuts and curly colors in New York City, curly colors, what? If you're looking for somebody that does curly cuts and like super dope color, great braids, you name it, Alicia actually cut my hair back in December 2017 when we were coworkers and we worked at the same salon. So she cut 5 inches off of my hair and then helped me transition to all of the lusciousness that is on my head. My hair is not dry. Okay, it's not dry. It just has not been styled for the day because I didn't do much today. Today was kind of a little sad, not gonna lie. Okay, so yes, hello, giving you very red from Janet Jackson, The Velvet Rope. I had been wanting to do that for a long time, but I wanted my hair to grow out more. And now here we are. And I know a lot of you like my hair straightened. Trust me, I do too. But like, yo, it was wild humid all last week. And like, I went to therapy on Thursday and it just said, and I was just like, okay, no, by the way, if anybody has any tips on like getting your hair to not bleed so much, like not getting your color to stop bleeding, please let me know. I can use all of the tips. I know how to get the bleach off. I know how to get the color off of like all of my stand appliances and shit like that. Bleach, obviously. So yes. Also, in old business, look at me, I'm sounding like I'm running a college activities board meeting. Shout out to all my Canton people. If you know, you know. Also in old business, I meant to touch on Michelle Obama's Becoming, and there was like a couple things in the book that I definitely want to get into, but like I'm gonna wait until after the election to do it because I know for some that's going to be a really heavy time, and I know like the energy is going to be real different, so I'm just going to hold out because some of the words in that, but not even some, most of what is included in that book is something so like heartwarming. It feels like a big hug. Now, new business. So as we know, we have an election. I mean, I don't know, maybe you live under a rock. I actually have listeners from Europe. So, yeah, I know we went from being the laughing stock of the world to now you guys are like insanely worried about us because what the fuck? Unfortunately, we have a new Supreme Court Justice, Amy Coney Barrett, aka the woman that's gonna make us literally wear red cloaks and look like we are coming out of The Handmaid's Tale. So I kind of want to touch on something really fast. So listen to me. I know a lot of you saw my little cute story post where I said, if you're gonna come at me and call me a sheep for not voting, you're gonna say I'm this for not voting, for voting, sorry. If you're gonna call me a sheep because I'm voting, if you're gonna call me stupid and ignorant because I'm settling for Biden, did you hear what I said? I said settle. I never said I fully 150% support him. I said settle. Because a lot of you keep missing my point when I was like, oh, it's a win for Black women to see Kamala Harris in a position like that. I never said that I agreed with any of the policies and the shit that she's done. She definitely has to answer for a lot of that, just as much as Biden has to answer for the 94 crime bill. I'm settling for it because I'd really appreciate it if I didn't have my reproductive rights being intruded upon. Y'all don't understand. By you not voting, that's you showing privilege. And a lot of you don't even have no room to be showing any fucking privilege because you just don't have it. You saying that you're not going to vote for Biden because he's going to impose this tax cut. Bro, you do not touch $400,000 in a year. I know you don't touch $400,000 in a year. For a fact, I know you do not touch $400,000 in a year. So this shit does not apply to you. So shut up, please. If you care about any of the women in your life, like, please vote, because women will soon, like, the first thing that they're trying to do is repeal Roe v. Wade, which I understand very controversial for some, which makes no fucking sense because it's not controversial at all. A woman's right to abortion is nobody's business but hers, period. Some of you are just feeling a little too comfortable and you're not pro-life, you're pro-birth. You understand what I'm saying? Pro-birth. You only give a shit about the baby after it is born. You don't care about the kids. Because if you cared about the kids, then explain to me why the foster care system looks the way it looks in America. I'll wait. Explain to me why it costs so much money to adopt a child in America. I'll wait. Precisely. Exactly. I'm waiting for answers that you can't give me. You're more concerned about a sack of cells, right? Now, what happens if your mother, your sister, your girlfriend, what happens if one of them gets violently raped and attacked? You are telling me that you want this woman that you love and care about to keep her assailant's baby? Did y'all not think about the post-traumatic stress? Did you not think about the depression, the anxiety? Did you not think about what might happen when that baby comes out? What if she does not want the baby at all? What if she just goes on a manic fucking episode and then decides to throw the baby in a dumpster? Then you're going to arrest her and lock her up instead of just letting the woman have the abortion in the first place. Not every woman wants to have kids. Okay? Let me repeat that. Not every woman wants to have kids. Some women have abortions for health reasons. The problem is you people that are so pro-life keep thinking that a woman is having a late-term abortion. Late-term abortions are only used in like dire situations. It's not like, oh shit, I now don't want a kid at 25 weeks. It's, oh shit, if I have this child, I can die. I'm gonna die giving birth to this child, or this child is gonna come out of my body and they're gonna die because their life cannot be sustained, or they're gonna be in excruciating pain. Now, how selfish is that? Oh, okay, because y'all didn't think that far ahead. Moving on. Oh, and also, by the way, how the fuck did we swear in a Supreme Court justice that doesn't even know the 5 basic rights that the First Amendment covers? Like, what is, I'm so confused. Okay. Thanks, America. So please, if you live in New York City, you have until Sunday, November 1st. What the fuck is up with my enunciation these days? Anyway, Sunday, November 1st to vote. And I am strongly urging all of my friends to vote. Please shut the fuck up if you don't want to vote, you don't care about it, you think all politicians are bad. Congratulations, all politicians are bad. No matter how much we love them or think that they are great, once they go into public servancy, then this is it for them. Like, they're gonna become an evil person regardless, no matter how bad we don't want them to be. That's kind of, this is for like the Bernie supporters. No, some, not all. Some of you Bernie supporters keep forgetting that that man would have gone into office and like the same shit would have happened. At some point of time, all of our politicians that we want and we care and we rally cry for, they're going to get tainted because they are public servants. period. And unfortunately, we have a majority Republican Senate. Jesus Christ. Anyway, setup looks different today. I'm actually recording in my bedroom. Yes, my bedroom is very plain, very mundane, and there's reason for that because I am the type of person that I like my bedroom to be as calm and serene as possible. I don't like too much going on because this is a place where I sleep. This is a place where I relax and I unwind for the day. My living room, I really don't care. I entertain mainly in there, but like, who's really entertaining in a pandemic? Oh yeah, Kim Kardashian is, because sis just went and threw a whole massive birthday party on a private island. Privilege. Anyways, so today we are getting into all tea, all shade, and all offense about something that I'm actually really anxious to talk about, but it's something that I feel is very much important, and it's something that I have sat with for a few months, and I've had the time to process the information. I've had time to, figure out what my next steps are. I've actually been kind of grieving a loss, which I will get into. But before I do, because this is a really heavy topic, I know my wine glasses are astronomically large, and rightfully so. Yes, I know I'm supposed to hold my wine glass from the stem, but when there's this much alcohol in the glass, for safety measures and purposes, I will hold it like so. So I hate the fact that we have now used the word normalize so fucking much, and we've killed it like roadkill. It's the most annoying thing. But I really want to get into all tea, all shade, and all offense about normalizing not forgiving your parents for things that they have done to you, and healing, and what healing and growth and overcoming the trauma really looks like. It's it goes beyond what people actually understand it to be. People think that healing is so pretty and it's about flowers and daisies. No, this shit is ugly. Healing is ugly. You will cry. You will be depressed. You will feel like your whole world stopped. You will feel like you cannot breathe. You're gonna feel like a range of emotions that I really can't even put into words. It's one of those things that you kind of have to like experience for yourself. So I'm gonna take a sip, and then I'm gonna take you on a little journey. Woo. For you, those of you that are wondering, that's Merlot. My favorite red wine is Pinot Noir. And I know people like to rip Barefoot, a new one. I don't give a fuck. Barefoot be getting me hit. But that's actually Carlo Rossi. So, I'm gonna do it the TikTok way. Put a finger down if when you were 13, you found out that you had an older sister that you never knew of, on your father's side. And then you two kind of build a little relationship, and then like she comes to your high school graduation, you go to her high school graduation, and she was 16 at the time when you met her, and then you go to college, you come home, your life kind of just essentially falls apart, but nobody really knows that. And with all this being said, by 2014 you guys like fall out and you no longer have a relationship with each other. But then 13 years later at 26, you find out that you have a younger brother who was born in July of 96. Did you guys have a second to process all of what I just said? Okay, cool. So the way how my family dynamic is, my mother is Guyanese and Portuguese, and my father is Trinidadian. on my mother's side, my grandmother, I love you so much, God rest her soul. My grandmother had 15 kids, and yes, 1 5, and 13 are still alive today. And my mother is actually lucky number 13, which makes her the baby. So like when my mom be bugging out, I be looking at her like, you can't be that ass because we the same person. Like I have the same habits you do. I'm confused here. Anyway, my father was, I think, the middle child of 5. He has 4 other brothers, and he had a sister who unfortunately passed. I believe she passed when I was like 7 or 8, maybe 9, somewhere around there. But my father's mother died when he was 9. She was a diabetic, and then she ended up never going to the hospital, never going to the doctor. They sent her to an Obia woman, which for those of you who are not West Indian or Hispanic Latino, Obia is basically like a bruja. So basically a witch, put it that way. But Obia is the West Indian way to refer to it. So they sent her to an Obia woman for the woman to just like, I guess, mysteriously heal her, and she ended up dying when my dad was 9. So in the midst of her passing, my grandmother had sent 2 of my uncles to stay with my grandfather, and then my grandfather sent one of my uncles to go live with another aunt. And then my father and his other brother got sent to live with my grandmother's best friend, who ironically lives, well, I don't know if she still lives there, but she used to live down the block from my grandmother's last apartment that she lived in before she passed. So you see how this shit is already fucking messy as shit, right? Okay, cool. Keep up, because there's a lot going on. Yo, this is fucking crazy. I can't believe this is my life. So my father's father basically lived this playboy lifestyle, Rolling Stone type shit, which Apple does not fall too far from the tree, if we're being honest here. Anyways, and I actually met my grandfather when he was, I want to say my grandfather was like maybe in like his 60s, his late 60s, early 70s, maybe even, yeah, somewhere around there, late 60s, early 70s. But I met him when I was 9, and like him and my mom were really close. They had like a really good relationship with each other. Like they were cool, whatever. And then like my mom would call, she would get a phone card. Remember phone cards before WhatsApp? Yo, I remember my mother always sending me to the store on a Sunday to go get her a daily news. I'd get myself a pack of nacho cheese, sunflower seeds, and then I'd have to get her a phone card so she could call my grandfather. But she called my grandfather, and like they had their own cute little personal relationship. And every now and again, I'd jump on the phone to just say hi, just to like talk to him, just so that way I knew him. My mom's dad died long before I was born, so I never got to meet my mom's dad, and I never got to meet my dad's mom. As we all know, I lost my grandmother 2 years ago, and I still mourn for that woman every day. I will be very honest, I still cry very hard for her. I miss her so much. That woman was the light of my life. And a lot of you know me personally, so a lot of you know that like that death took me down. Like I was bugged out for a hot minute. Anyways, so my father's father, I met him in Trinidad when I was 9. And I remember looking at this man, and I was like looking at him, and I was getting so creeped out because like my dad and my grandfather look so much alike. They are like literal twins. And it was just like creeping me out because like he was looking at my mom and he was like, oh my God, Lynn, she looks so much like you. But then at the same time, I was like looking at him, and then I told my mom, I was like, Mom, he looks so much like Dad. It's scary. Unfortunately, my grandfather had prostate cancer, and it went undiagnosed for so long. And I think he just like, I don't remember what happened distinctly, but from what I was told, like some part of his body like swole up, like, and then he died. And I actually got the news as I was going through customs. So I was leaving Miami to fly, leaving Miami. I was leaving Trinidad to fly to Miami. And then as I was passing through customs, that's when I got the news that he had passed. And being 9 and just meeting him like literally 24 hours beforehand, it was kind of like a weird transition. It was a weird time. It was like kind of hard for me to process, just because I was just like, wow, this is somebody so cool. And I think for me at that moment, it just made me want to gravitate to my mom's mom even more, because it was just like, yo, she's the only grandparent that I have left. And I was so blessed and so lucky to have her for 23 years. And I will always love her and I will always miss her. I'm not about to cry right now because no, not gonna do it. I promised myself I wasn't gonna do it. Anyway, so basically back in August, I had received an Instagram DM, and this person, like the way how my inbox is set up, like if I don't know you, don't follow me, whatever, it's gonna come in like a request. So I get this request, and it's from this young man who like asked me basically if I knew my father. Like he mentioned him by first and last name. And I said, yeah, what is this in regards to? And he was like, great. Can I give you a call? We have to talk about something. So I'm going to pause this right here. Let me give you like a calm backstory, because some of you know and some of you don't. Well, maybe like 2% of you know and 98% of you don't. So yes, my parents were together for a total of 32 years, 32 and a half, going on 33. The day after my 19th birthday, they separated. Exactly. Imagine going to dinner with your parents 24 hours later. Boom, your whole shit falls apart. This was summer 2013. I had came home from Canton. I was like literally just finished my freshman year. I felt like on top of the fucking world because I had started out freshman year like really like didn't know anybody. Everybody that I went to college with ended up knowing somebody at the college, but I didn't. So ended up becoming a Delta Diamond, if you know, you know. Also then joined the college activities board, went from one position to another position, ended up ending off the year by going to by making it as what's that shit called? I was vice president. Yo, what is wrong with me? I think it's because I'm nervous. I haven't filmed in so long that like I'm like thinking about the bags under my eyes and this lighting and how it's not helping. But it's okay though. I'm gonna be a John next time you see me. Maybe. I don't know. This is live from the crib. We're in a fucking pandemic. You should not even be coming for the way how I look these days. Please don't roast me. My feelings. Fragile. And you see this ADHD. Wow. Anyway. So I ended up starting out working the college activities board as a weekday programmer. So I was responsible for all of the weekday events that went on between Monday through Friday. Then I went to special events chair, which I was then responsible for planning Spring Fest, which is the largest like spring festival for the end of the year. It's like every big college has one. St. John's has one, you know, where you got the carnival and the fair at the end and the whole Ferris wheel shit, the rides, whatever, cool, fine. Q's has one. Q's Fest, I think it's called, or some shit like that. So that I was basically responsible for planning that. And then at the end of that term, which was like the end of the semester, um, our advisor for CAB, she was like, yo, run for VP. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay. Shout outs to you, Omar, who's always been big support of everything Nikita does, and I love it and I appreciate it. Omar, you are the fucking greatest. I love you, my guy. So Omar, who was an RA, then told me I should become an RA. So like I'm ending my freshman year on a high. Like, yo, I'm a Delta Diamond. I'm an RA now. I'm about to be vice president of one of the largest student body organizations. Like, I'm fucking feeling myself, right? And then my roommate moved out a day early. So then when my parents came, like, my parents looked, they fooled the shit out of me. Like, they came and they were like, oh my God, our baby, we love you. We're so proud of you. We're happy, blah, blah, blah. You made it. You beat the statistic. Because, you know, there's a statistic that half of the freshman class ends up coming home from being away, like at the end of their first semester. But I loved my freedom, okay? Because living with the two of them and having strict and stricter, it was like, bro, no, me going all the way far, touching Canada, yeah, no, I knew you wasn't coming to harass me. So yes, I came home. We celebrated my 19th birthday, and then the next day they told me that they was calling it quits, and I was just like, oh my God, what do I do? Now? Y'all doing this now? And unbeknownst to me, my whole entire freshman year, my parents actually were not together. So like, they dropped me off at school and then they separated. And then they came and picked me up. I came home for holidays. I came home for whenever I had like a free minute, and like everything looked fine to me. But then again, that could be because I was staying at my sister's house. Shout outs to my sister for always holding it down, because coming home and living at my sister's was like the bomb. Like, first of all, I had my own set of keys. I had a copy to her debit card. All I had to do was like text her and let her know if I wasn't coming home, so that way she could lock, like, deadbolt the door, because my keys didn't have the copy to the deadbolt. So I was like, oh shit, perfect. Anyways, so yes, by this time I am 19 and I'm trying to process everything that's going on. I then go back to school. I survived the summer. And that summer, I would say it was honestly the start of the deterioration between the relationship between my father and I. Because this man was like doing all types of reckless shit. Like, my son stopped coming home at one point in time, and like my poor mom was like trying to rehab herself and like get her own shit together. And then I remember me, like, nobody really gave a fuck about my feelings and like how I was trying to cope with the situation. So what I did was I lashed the fuck out and I started doing all types of reckless shit. Like, I wasn't coming home until maybe like 3-4 in the morning. I'm chilling in the Bronx. And my people that know me, you know, you know. I'm not going uptown unless if it's for the boys in the pinstripe uniforms on 161. Other than that, Bronx? For what? Harlem? For what? Like, bro, no shade, no disrespect, because I got love for the Bronx, obviously. And I got some love for Harlem too, but like, bro, I'm from Brooklyn. Like, we don't travel that deep. Like, you dating somebody from the Bronx and you live in Brooklyn, that's a long distance relationship, because that's a 2-hour train ride. No, not having it. Anyway, I remember one night I pushed my luck and I came home at like 5 in the morning, and my dad woke me up like 2-3 hours later because he was leaving for work, and he was like, let me tell you something, you're not gonna come in and out of my house at this time and this time and this time and this time. And I was like, first of all, you don't even come home, so what are you doing telling me what I can and cannot do? Like, that whole summer that they separated, literally my parents could not tell me what to do. It wasn't working. I was doing what I wanted to do all the time and was lying about it. Didn't care, because I was like, nobody cares about my feelings in this house, so fuck that. I'm gonna lie my way out of everything. I'm going to tell you I'm here, and you can call my sister. My sister will vouch for me, as though she always does, because hashtag that's what good sisters do. Anyway, so I go back to school sophomore year, and October 2013, my father gets into a very debilitating accident to the point where he almost died. This accident would then lead to all his other health problems. And being the good daughter that I was, I only say was because I'm going to get to that in a second. Being the good daughter that I was, I decided to, come home, like leave upstate altogether, transferred to St. John's, decided I was done with upstate. I wanted to be home. I almost lost my dad. Didn't want to feel that weight and that pressure on me anymore. So I decided to just do what was best for myself and my family at that time. Now, 2014, I have a falling out with my father's second oldest daughter, and that's when shit just kind of hit the fan, and I was just like, yo, I'm done with all my father's kids. My father has a total of 6 of us that we know of, because Trinidadian men are only good for a few things. That's cheating, lying, and giving you pick-me long eyelashes. If you know, you know. Anyway, so I have an older brother. I have 2 older brothers. One of them is on the spectrum. Then I have 2 older sisters. This is not to be confused with my older sister that has my nephew. That is my mother's daughter. We have the same mom, different dads. We were raised together. She practically raised me, taught me how to read before I was 2 years old, the whole bit. She don't like hearing that half-sister bullshit, because she don't believe in that, and I don't either, rightfully so. Right. So on my father's side, I have, like I said, 2 older brothers, 2 older sisters. There's myself, and then there is my younger brother, whom I only found out about back in August. So I'm going to get into that. To clear up some questions, no, I don't have a relationship with any of my father's children at this moment right now. That is just by personal choice. My younger brother and I are trying to figure out a way to be in each other's lives right now without it being like uncomfortable or like awkward or anything like that. So yeah, we're just navigating life. We're figuring it out. I have not met my younger brother yet. Unfortunately, the one time he was here, the schedules just didn't match up and we just couldn't do it. It's okay. But yes, my younger brother reached out to me via Instagram, and we ended up having a phone call. And, it kind of just put me in this place, because when he gave me the timeline of when things were happening, it just made me feel so angry, because I was just like, how could you do my mom like this? Like, my mom gave you you gave my mom a house. She turned it into a home. She gave you the most beautiful gift you could ever receive. And this is no shade to my siblings, but like, yo, my mom gave him something so beautiful, so smart, so intelligent, so charismatic, so filled with life and personality. And it was just like, to watch this man throw this whole entire thing away, I can only imagine the pain that my mom felt, because that shit kind of like fucked me up, hearing, how close in age we actually are. And for me, I've always wanted a relationship with my brothers. The last time I saw my brother that is on the spectrum, I had to be in like the 5th grade. I think I was maybe like 10, 11, somewhere around there. Yeah, 10 or 11, somewhere. No, because I moved to Texas when we were 11 because I turned 12 in Texas. So I had to be like 9 or 10. Yeah, I was 9 years old going through a lot of shit. Um, yeah, it had to be 9 or 10 that I met. The first and last time, not the last time. The first time I met my brother on the spectrum, I was 9. I believe he was 17. So a 9-year-old trying to process the fact that their older sibling is autistic is very much confusion. I had a childhood friend whose younger brother was on the spectrum too, so like I kind of understood it, but I didn't really understand it. The last time I saw my brother that was on the spectrum, I was 13. We lived in Texas at the time, and I remember like my dad had brought him with us with the intent of like having my mom keep me and him in the same house, and my mom was like, absolutely not, because you're not leaving me here to raise a child that's autistic and Nick at the same time. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. The last time I saw my oldest sister on my father's side had to be like 7, somewhere around there. She doesn't like me. She doesn't fuck with me. She mainly doesn't like me because of the relationship with my mom. She feels like there's a lot of, trust me, there's a lot of backstory that I'm just not gonna get into. I'm just gonna give you guys like the gist to like put the fucking puzzle pieces together. You guys are brilliant. You guys are smart as fuck. I know. But yeah, my oldest sister wants nothing to do with me. My second oldest sister, her and I were cool, and then we had a falling out, and then yeah, that it is what it is. Sad part about it is that like I love her fiance now that they're engaged. That was her boyfriend. Now he's her fiance. He still looks out for me as though he's like my big bro. You know, and I loved his family too. Like her fiance's family was so great. And they were like black from the South. So the food, oh my God. Wow. Delicious. And now there is my younger brother who is super excited to have a sister. And I think that's phenomenal. And I'm super blessed that somebody wants to build a relationship with me. But for me, I'm healing from all of the terrible things that my father has done to screw up my life. I called my dad to confront him about my younger brother, and basically the whole entire conversation was just filled with lies and bullshit. And you know, I was so disheartened because I've always told my parents, yo, I'm grown. I clearly don't live at home. And, you know, there's no reason to lie to me, especially because I'm 26. Like, I get it. Life happens. I'm a woman. I've experienced shit. I've learned shit. I've seen shit for myself. There's no reason to lie and to hide from me. The conversation proceeded to get really ugly. He proceeded to attack my mother, her character. And if you know me, you know that's my gal. You can't talk shit about my mom's without me going 8 shades of fucking crazy, 8 shades of nutso. And I just remember having like the worst panic attack and like hyperventilating and screaming and just like being so frustrated, and like knowing the fact that he asked me where I was when he was in the hospital kind of like took me for a loop, because it was just like, what the fuck do you mean, where was I? I left upstate and came home. Columbus Day weekend, I remember it. I left upstate and I came home, like I got a ride with my CAB advisor, because she drove. And I remember her driving us down, and then she dropped me off at my house, because I remember this man left me upstate with a phone that didn't work. Like, T-Mobile don't work upstate in Canada. Dub. You only getting away with Sprint, and Sprint service is gonna be choppy as fuck. Basically, the only thing that works upstate like really well is Verizon and AT&T. But come on now, bread. Expensive. We're not there yet. We're still chilling on the Sprint service and hoping that it works out. So I remember like I had to order my first iPhone because he refused to buy me an iPhone, which I thought was very odd. So every iPhone I've ever owned, I've purchased like myself. So I went to go get my I like purposely came home Columbus Day weekend to get my iPhone. And my mom was like, yo, there's rumors flying around about your pops. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Because by that time, my dad had like already moved out of the house. And he was just like, he left my mother to deal with everything on her own, like figure it out. And, you know, my mom had pictures of me on the wall, and she was like, she would stare at those pictures every day as a reminder to get up and keep going and keep going and keep going. She's like, I cannot fail because my baby is dependent on me. And, you know, for me, that shit just breaks me down every time I hear it, because it's just like, yo, this woman really didn't even deserve half the shit that she fucking put up with. Like, I know my mom tells me I stayed with your father 15 years too long, but that was because I saw the relationship that you two had, and I didn't want to take that away from you. And sometimes I wish she did, because it would have saved me the strife and the heartache and the headache that I have now. So at the start of the show, when I told you I'm grieving the loss of my father. No, my father's not dead, at least not to my knowledge. But I no longer speak to him. Being told that I was a piece of shit for a daughter, I'm a terrible daughter, nothing I do will ever be good enough for this man, was so disheartening, because imagine you live your whole life to do everything to make your parents proud and make your parents happy. Imagine literally being a first generation student because your parents came here, and, you know, you have to prove yourself 25 times harder because your parents came from the islands. It's not like the situation where your parents were born here, your grandparents were born in the islands. No, my parents came here from the islands. The expectations of my life were exponentially harder because not only am I Black and I'm a woman, my parents are fucking immigrants. So I have so much more to prove. And, you know, just having an older sister that did AP everything, and like my mom seeing that, and then me trying to emulate that, and, you know, it just going on and on. So it was like knowing that all of the hard work that I have had ever done, while yes, it was for myself, part of the reason why I did the things that I did and I made the moves that I made was because I wanted to please my parents. And I wanted my parents to feel really proud of me. So knowing that, you know, me doing time at Complex was a waste. It wasn't a waste. Nothing I've ever done to help myself excel has ever been a waste, not to me. But knowing that, you know, you weren't proud of that. Knowing that I spent 6 months interning at Disney that you weren't proud of. Getting into St. John's on a partial scholarship, you weren't, like, that wasn't good enough for you. Moving into my first apartment, I guess that wasn't good enough for you. And it just broke me down, because it was just like, being a good daughter is something that I really pride myself on. Like, I pride myself on being, yes, having intellect and, you know, just trying to be a really good person is one thing. But like, I think I'm a damn good daughter. I think I'm a damn good sister. a damn good aunt, a damn good girlfriend, and a damn good friend. So when I called my mom and I was like, yeah, he said that I'm no longer his child, it was just kind of like a smack in the face, because I was just like, yo, on my graduation day, you gave me like the biggest hug and you told me how proud. I'm not about to cry. I'm so not about to cry. Because this is a person that doesn't even deserve me as a daughter. Like, I know he don't. I'm way too good. Oh my God. Woo. Nope. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I'm sorry, y'all. That shit kind of hurt. Especially because, like, I see my friends and I see, like, their relationships with their dads. And it makes me so sad, because it's like, what y'all have, like, I wish I had that and I don't. So it's kind of like, I make do with what I got. I'm super thankful because I have a mom that loves me and she thinks I'm so great. I have a sister that thinks I'm awesome, and she constantly reminds me that her and my nephew love me so much. And then I have the sweetest nephew that, looks up to me and admires me and thinks that I'm the greatest person ever. I have girlfriends that, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I think this is the first time on the show that I've like cried. Which is fine, because here at Mood AF, this is a safe space. I have girlfriends that think my drive is so great, and they're constantly thanking me because I'm so energetic and I have like this spirit and I have like, such good vibes, and I'm really supportive. And it's awesome to know that I have all of these people that love me. So I try to just like shift my energy and focus on that. But healing from this has been so tough, because every time I think about why I can't progress in life because I don't have my degree, it fucks me up. Because I'm just like, yo, this man literally was in charge of all of my college tuition payments and he squandered all of the money. So I wasn't able to finish my degree, and every time I attempted to go back to school, I never had the money to pay for it. Because, for whatever reason, FAFSA thinks that the parent that makes the least amount of money should pay the most amount in tuition, which is not so crazy to me, but all right, cool, whatever. So yeah, there's that. So I'm attempting to like go back to school, but I don't know how promising that's gonna look, because due to the pandemic, I'm officially laid off. Like, I was furloughed in April. Now I've lost my job. And trying to get another job in the middle of a pandemic is very hard. And, there's mad people that would say, like, go be a bagger at Target. Like, go do this, go do that. And it's just kind of like, I'm not strapped for cash to where I have to do something like that. I'm not saying that those are terrible jobs. Those are living, paying wages. But for someone like me, with the bills that I have to stay in an annual, like a certain annual bracket that I need, like something that I have to make annually in order for me to sustain the life and stay on my budgets. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not about to go take a part-time job and then like get my unemployment benefits reduced even more. Because if you think about it, there's mad people on unemployment right now. There's mad people that lost their jobs due to this pandemic. But with that being said, like, some people aren't being smart, and I need you guys to wake up. Please, for the love of God, if you are getting all of your unemployment money, go into your unemployment services and change your tax withholding, because next year at tax time, you're going to have to pay all of that money back, which means you will probably not get a refund. I'm just saying. Please do the smart thing. Change your tax withholding. You'll thank me later. Now, moving on. So yes, because I haven't been able to finish my degree yet, I get so frustrated when I can't find a job, or because the requirement is a fucking bachelor's degree. But then it's like, you look at my resume and I have a ton of experience. Like, my resume, like my degree is not going to show you that I already know what to do on my resume. My resume speaks for itself. The degree is only going to show you that I know how to read and write and do basic math. That's basically it. My degree is in communications. Bro, I've been like a receptionist and an admin for 5 years. The two don't really correlate with each other, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it just shows you I'm a dynamic communicator. Cool. And now I know for some of you, you're going to be like, okay, but have you ever thought about maybe when you're applying, they Google your name and they see that you have a show? I'm here to tell you something. You know how I got not this job that I was just like unfortunately let go from? My previous employer, part of the reason of why they hired me is because they found out I had a podcast. I willingly disclosed that. And then the man that hired me was like at the open house event, and he like literally said, he said to a bunch of other higher ups, he was like, yeah, and this is Nikita, and she does this and she does this and she does that. And, you know, Nikita has a podcast, and that's part of the reason why we hired her, because she's so charismatic and she has personality. She's so full of life. So please shut the entire fuck up. My show, what I do when I'm not clocked in, is nobody's business, because if we're being honest here, the incels, yeah, they may have jobs, but then they be on Reddit attacking the shit out of people and being racist, like on Twitter, and people see it and they don't lose their jobs. So move around. Anyway, but yeah, I be getting frustrated because it's just like, yo, if I had my degree, then I wouldn't be in the predicament that I'm in. But you know, things happen. So after that painful conversation, my mom and my sister were there for me, and you know, they really loved on me, and you know, so was my boyfriend and my girlfriends. Like, they were all there for me, and you know, they made me feel really good and just kept reminding me how great I am, and you know, all the things that I'm doing and how they're all gonna like work themselves out. So I was okay, and I'm okay with that now. Plus, being active in therapy is something that I really pride myself on. The healing it's a journey, it's a battle. It's not fun. Some days I wake up and I feel like I'm on top of the world, like nothing can faze me, like nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up. And then there's some days where staying in bed until 5 o'clock feels so fucking good, because my mind is racing at a mile a minute. I'm thinking, yo, how am I gonna pay this, and how am I gonna do this, and how am I gonna make this jump, and how am I gonna make this move? And you know, for living in a pandemic for the first time in my life, as many of us are, and having my own apartment and still trying to make shit jump, like, I'm very proud of myself. Very, very, very proud of myself. I know people were getting evicted. Luckily, I have some cool ass landlords. They know my body. They not even trying to evict me. Like, they think I'm the sweetest little gem, and I am. Also, you know, paying your rent in a pandemic, I feel like is a big, like, it's gonna sound real classist, so don't take it that way, at least not from me. But to me, being able to pay my rent in a pandemic is a flex for me. Okay, keyword for me. Because I mean, I've been told so many times, like, just pay part or just pay some. But then people forget you have to end up paying every cent eventually. So for me, being able to pay everything at one time, super proud. I'm gonna have another sip of wine because that was really heavy what we just talked about, and I cannot believe I cried. Somebody's gonna think I did that shit for fucking clickbait, which that means you really don't know me, because to be honest, I don't even cry in front of my friends. Like, my friends can tell you how many times I've cried in front of them. It's not a lot, to be honest. So yeah, this actually felt good. It actually feels good to film in my bed because I'm comfortable. Not saying that my couch isn't comfortable, but the setup in my bed as opposed to the setup on my couch is one is a lot less work than the other. And B, my bed is just comfy as shit, man. Damn. Thank you, God. So, I kind of don't want to drag this out. But like, when I say normalize not forgiving your parents, I mean, don't forgive them for shit that they really hurt you and put you through like some crazy shit. Like, I'm not gonna forgive my dad ever. And the forgiveness isn't necessarily for him or myself. It's just, I'm the type of person that, like, I love, and I love very deeply, and the people in my life know that I love beyond a shadow of a doubt. Like, I love my people tremendously, will do anything for my peoples. But when you put somebody through that much pain and that much trauma, it's kind of like, how do you forgive this person and how do you expect them to continue on with their own life without any resentment toward you? So when I see people saying normalize forgiving your parents because our parents have their own traumas, it's kind of like, no, because they're grown enough to know better and to do better. And you have to want to do better. And you have to want to continue to do better. Why do you think, like, part of the reason of why I won't have kids is until I am fully healed? I'm not healed off of the shit that I experienced growing up. I'm not healed from, hearing my father speak to my mother in certain ways. I'm not healed from my mother saying certain comments to me when I was younger. I'm not healed from a lot of the shit that happened to me in my childhood. No. So for me, how selfish would I be if I brought a child into this world and I wasn't even right with myself 150%? Not to mention, her parents, like, we need to stop making excuses for our parents. We need to stop making excuses for them. Oh, well, they couldn't afford therapy. Oh, well, they're nice to me now. Yeah, because you don't live there. Because they don't have any control over what you do, what you say, and how you fucking say it. They can't tell you how to live your life. Does not excuse the terrible behavior that they put you through. Especially when you've gone through something traumatic, like knowing that I have friends that have mommy and daddy issues, knowing that I have friends that have just mommy issues or daddy issues, knowing that I suffer from both. Very hard realization. It was hard to come to terms with. I thought my life looked one way and somebody poured water on on my life painting, and then I actually started seeing the watercolor come off and I started seeing my life for what it was. Normalize not blaming women for not having relationships with their fathers. Blame the fathers in that case. Because the same way how we like to rip on men for not having dads, a lot of women don't have appropriate father figures. And that's not our fault. That's not our fault. Stop linking women not having relationships with their fathers to them being hoes. Us being sexually liberated and us not having relationships with our fathers, the two things do not fucking equate. They don't. Me having sex has nothing to do with my relationship with my dad. Me dating different people while my parents were separated had nothing to do with like me having daddy issues. No. When I was a kid, my pops, that was my main man. You couldn't tell me shit. You know how like some parents are like, I'll pick up, but I won't drop off? Yo, my pops was never like that. My pops would take us and he would bring us back. All the time. All the time. My pops, we would go bring my mom lunch. If mans bought me a brand new pair of kicks last weekend, yeah, my son is telling me, put on them Jordans I just bought you. Put on that fresh fit that your mother just bought you. We going to take mommy lunch. My man's was making sure every week my hair was done. Not every 2 weeks. Every week I was going to see my girl get my hair done. Fresh. Braids. Fresh. This. Fresh. Yeah. Once upon a time, that man was my whole entire life. My whole entire being. What are you talking about? Now? No. It's crazy to me because my mom called me after I got off the phone with him, and then I called her and I was like hysterical and I was screaming and crying, and then she hung up on me to call him and rip him a new one. Then she called me back and she was just like, I don't want you to have anything to do with this man anymore. And while no, it's not her choice, I understand where she's coming from as a mother, and I understand where she's coming from a place of hurt. While yes, there are some things that I do believe my mother should be answering for, we're not going to get into that. That'll come for a different day. Who knows? Might be this year, might be next year, who knows? But when it comes to my life now and where I'm at now, I see that my father was gone for about 60% of it. 60% is even being generous. My father was gone for about 90% of my life. He did the same thing to all of his children. At one point of our lives, he left us. And no, that's not okay. I think for me, part of the healing and the growth comes from knowing that he did the same thing to all of us and I was not excluded to it. I always felt like he loved me the most, so you could never do me the way how you did everybody else. Oh boy, was I fucking wrong. And that's okay. I wake up every morning blessed to know I have a mother, a sister, a nephew, and those three will forever be that's me. That's all me right there. And I'm okay with that. And while no, my relationships with my mom and might not be the best, and you know, my sister and I have our moments, them, I will take choosing them every single day, every single minute, every single hour, every single second over choosing somebody that told me that I'm a piece of shit. You are half of my DNA. And it's sad to know that the only thing that this man and I share now is just a last name. It's sad to know that one day when I do decide to get married, that I can never give him the privilege of ever walking me down. I could never give him the privilege. You didn't earn it. You didn't deserve it. You don't deserve it. Knowing that because of your bullshit and your infidelity, I had to lie to everybody my senior year of high school. All of my friends didn't even know what was going on. There was only one, my best friend at the time. She knew what the fuck was going on because I called her and I said, listen, this is what's going on. You're the only person that knows. People were going up to her the first day of senior year like, where's Nikita? And this is literally what she said. All I know is that she's still in New York. Knowing that I had to plead my case at the Board of Education, their office, My sister had to take off part of her day to come with me and my dad so I could go plead my case about why I should be going to a specialized high school and not a charter school for my senior year. Because in New York, what you need, like I forgot how many credits you need to graduate. What, like 100 and some shit like that, right? In Texas, I think you only needed like, what, 40 credits, maybe, some shit like that. I don't know. The credit difference was astronomical. But once they transferred my credits over to the New York system, I had more than enough credits to graduate. The only thing I was missing was a bum ass regent. Not even one, three. I had English, math, and US, which bodied US and English. Passed math by the skin of my teeth. Don't matter though. See us get degrees. So knowing that I had to take a regent, knowing that like what my living situation, oh my god, yo, y'all don't even know what my living situation was my senior year of high school. I'm too publicly embarrassed. I would be publicly embarrassed to even state what it is, even though, like, you know, clearly living good, eating better, salud. But no, I could never disclose that. It was just too much and it was sad. Excuse me. I don't want to keep you guys too long because we're already, you know, dragging it out. And I'm sorry for the pauses, but like, talking about this is something that is so heart-wrenching because this one part of my life affected another part of my life with another person. Actually affected my life with a lot of people. And then, you know, being in therapy for a while, I've now become more observant of everybody's behaviors. And for me, it's just easier to lay low and like figure out what I'm doing and how people's behaviors affect me and like how not to react and how not to this and how not to that. So for me, it's just kind of like, I'd rather see what you want to do, because that'll always speak volumes. I'm not going to tell you how to move with me. I want to see what you're going to do, because that's what you want to do. People are always going to do what they want to do. So it is what it is. But I want you guys to know, like, it's okay to not forgive your parents. It's okay. Yo, your mom is standing up for your trash ass stepdad. It's okay. You don't got to forgive her. She's trash too. Because why would you ever put a man over your child? That shit drives me up the wall. I hate when people do. I hate when parents put their new significant others over their children as though their children didn't. Like, what the fuck? Whatever. Your dad cheated on your mom, ruined your life. You don't gotta forgive him, sis. Take it from my book. I'm damn sure never forgiving that man. It's not my fight. It's not my battle. I understand that it happens to my parents, but I'm very overprotective of the people that I love, especially my mother. She gave me life. Oh, fuck no. I'll never forgive that man for that. Ever. I'll never forgive him for depriving me and, my siblings and I from having a relationship with each other. I will never forgive him for that. I will never forgive him for that. Because you know how dope it is knowing that I have a little brother, like, who I could have, like, taught so much about life, could have been, like, kicking it with, could have been like, yo, let's go on vacay, yo, let's do this, yo, let's do that. Because my whole entire life, I grew up as the princess. I was always the baby. I was always the last one. I didn't think that there was any more after me. Like, my parents would joke around and be like, oh, we're going to have another kid. I said, over my dead body. I'm not having another child. For what? I'm all you need. And here we are. And I have officially blocked and deleted my father. I no longer have pictures of us in my phone. I just don't feel that he needs to be a part of my life. And, you know, if I have kids, I don't want my kids to meet him. I don't think he's a person that deserves anything good. It's okay to also say that your parents that hurt you, they don't deserve shit either. It's okay to do these types of things. I don't want you guys thinking that, like, because your parents did some crazy shit, that you should forgive them for fucking every little thing under the sun. No, you don't have to. No. Don't forgive your parents if they hurt you. Don't forgive your parents if if you grew up in an unstable household, you grew up with parents who were addicts, you grew up with, no, stop forgiving your parents for shit that they did, that they were well aware of doing. Our parents are fucking adults. Like, they're well aware of what they're doing. And then the lack of accountability. It's the lack of accountability for me. It's the lack of taking ownership and responsibility for your bullshit for me. And then guess what? When you tell your parents that they hurt you, they don't ever fucking apologize. Nope, not with that. Now, I will say, if you choose to forgive them for your own peace and your own self-worth and your own peace of mind. But don't fucking make that shit like normalized. Normalize not forgiving your parents. It's okay to not forgive people. I know my therapist is going to be like, Nick, no. You're going backwards, honey. No, I'm going forward. It's okay to not forgive people for when they like fuck your life up tremendously and then you forgive. Bro, I never want to see you again. I think part of the reason why I love you guys is because you allow me to say what I feel and what I think with no judgment. And quite frankly, thank you for that. Because like I said, here at Mood AF, safe space. And you know, as I say every episode, I'm going to make you cry. I'm going to make you think. I'm going to make you feel. You're going to come leaving. You might have started in one mood. You're going to leave with another. But I don't want to keep you too long because we've been here a really long time. So I love you. Okay? Please go vote. Thank you. Go vote. We'll have one more sip for the road. My name is Nikita. Thank you for joining me today. It's always a pleasure to have you guys with me. I love you guys, and I will see you soon.